So we spoke earlier in the show about Joe Biden warning Russian President Vladimir Putin, don't invade Ukraine. If you do it, we're going to put in place economic sanctions. You're not going to like it. Don't do it. Well, Tucker Carlson doesn't like it. He doesn't like what Joe Biden is saying. Last night, Fox News propagandist Tucker Carlson sided with Russia and with Vladimir Putin, saying the president of Russia just wants to keep his western borders secure. Now, I already told you earlier that Russia has been massing troops at the border with Ukraine, the idea being they're either gauging what the reaction would be to a potential invasion, or they're actually planning an invasion of Ukraine. And Joe Biden went to Putin yesterday and said, don't invade Ukraine. We will punish you economically if you do. Tucker went on a 14-minute rant last night defending Russia's actions, saying it's Biden who should be careful because next thing you know, he might start a war if he threatens Putin. So there are so many things here to talk about. Let's first look at a couple of clips. Here is Tucker accurately saying, the risk to Iowans from Putin and Russia is very low. And Tucker's absolutely right about that.
We're going to freeze Germany and Luxembourg, and that's going to teach Vladimir Putin. Again, what you just saw there is a child who has no idea what she's talking about, but keeps talking anyway. We will defend Ukraine, says Joni Ernst. Remember, this is a senator from Iowa. So what happens if we don't defend Ukraine, Joni Ernst? Will kids in Des Moines grow up to speak Russian? No one asked her that question. She's never thought about it for a moment. They're all just reading from the same talking points, from Adam Schiff to Roger Wicker to Joni Ernst.
Great. Okay. So, Tucker's right. He's condescending. He's pathetic. He's a propagandist, but he's right. The Russia thing is not a risk to kids in Iowa, where Joni Ernst is a senator. And I wish that had been the perspective so many more times in American history when we were doing military engagements. Iraq comes to mind as one example. But we aren't talking about military intervention here, at least not right now, nor do I support one. What we're talking about here is economic sanctions and participating in the shared defense of Ukraine. So Tucker continues. We're going to kind of go back to what he said before the clip we just watched. Take a look.
But what's so interesting, and ought to make you sit up and pay attention, is suddenly partisan Republicans are making identical noises. Just this afternoon, Senator Roger Wicker of Mississippi, not a genius famously, but still a sitting Republican senator, went on Fox News to say we may need to send American troops to Ukraine, and possibly, because this isn't insane or anything, think about the use of nuclear weapons. Got that in our back pocket. Nuclear weapons. Roger Wicker, sitting U.S. Senator. No one in Washington laughed at Roger Wicker. This is so crazy that no one seems aware of how crazy it is. They're all just sitting back and listening to Toria Nuland tell them what we need to do. How much has this penetrated the psyche of Washington, D.C.? Well, here's a sad piece of tape. This is Joni Ernst, who's a totally affable, nice Republican, sort of reasonable on most things from the Midwest. Suddenly sounding like a bloodthirsty warmonger, sounding a lot like actually Adam Schiff when she talks about that dastardly Vladimir Putin.
He needs to say to Vladimir Putin that we are no longer going to allow you to continue with the Nord Stream 2 pipeline. We need you to know and understand that we will defend Ukraine. We will provide them assistance. He needs to make that very clear.
Putin is so bad, we're going to cut off natural gas to Western Europe in retaliation against him in December. We're going to freeze Germany and Luxembourg, and that's going to teach Vladimir Putin. Again, what you just saw there is a child who has no idea what she's talking about, but keeps talking anyway.
Okay, so then we get to the part about Joni Ernst that I played for you earlier. So here's the deal with this. Your reaction might be, Republicans just love Russia. So of course Tucker is siding with Russia. And it is true that increasingly under Trump, these Republicans are more and more sort of smitten by these authoritarian strongmen, and Russia is one example of that. But this is actually bigger than that. And remember, I don't want war with Russia. I didn't want Trump going to war with Russia. I don't want Joe Biden going to war with Russia. I'm not calling for war with Russia at all, period. What I want to point out to you is that for Republicans, the principle is that Democrats are always in the wrong. Under Obama, the focus was beta Obama let Putin take Crimea, and he just let him do it. He walked all over Obama once again. Why didn't Obama go to war? Why didn't Obama deploy troops? Why did Obama let Putin do whatever the hell he wanted? In comes Donald Trump. The focus then became, why wouldn't we want to get along with Putin? Getting along is good. You know, their voices would go up 3 octaves. Putin didn't do anything wrong. Let's be friends. Trump is right not to go after Putin. Trump is right not to treat Putin strongly and instead treats him with kid gloves. You warmongering liberals, stop saying Trump should be going aggressive with Putin. And then now it's Joe Biden. And now it's, well, even merely threatening economic sanctions is crazy. Putin's not that bad. Putin's just protecting his border. Well, but hold on a second, guys. Under Obama, you flipped out because Obama didn't stop Putin from taking Crimea. Now Biden is bad for doing something, at least an economic threat. I thought, wasn't this what you said Obama was wrong for not doing, and now Biden is wrong for doing it? And at the end of the day, these people are truly pathetic because there are no underlying values or principles with foreign policy. The only underlying principle is attack Democrats. The principle is it's always the fault of some Democrat doing something wrong. Either Democrats did the wrong thing by doing something, or Democrats did the wrong thing by not doing something, or Democrats wanted the Republican to do the wrong thing, but fortunately the Republican was smart and strong and wise enough not to do it. Under Obama, Obama was that Democrat. Under Trump, it was other Democrats saying, why is Trump treating Putin like this and not taking him seriously? And then under Biden, it goes back to being Joe Biden. This is amazing even for Tucker, the defense of Putin here. But at this point, I probably shouldn't even really be that surprised.
One of our sponsors is Splendid Spoon. Now, if you're like me, I love planning my meals out for the week, but sometimes I just run out of time to plan them for every single day. And Splendid Spoon makes that whole process a lot easier. They deliver fresh, delicious, plant-based meals right to your door, ready to eat. No cooking, no cleaning dishes, saves you a lot of time. You can choose from over 50 hot and cold meal options. There's smoothies, grain and noodle bowls, soups. I'm a big soup guy. Many of you know that. I also really liked the vegan meatballs with marinara noodles. Delicious. Both I and Splendid Spoon believe eating more plant-based is a great tool for feeling good, for helping the environment. The list goes on. I'm not vegan. You all know that, I think. But Splendid Spoon is really great to just help me maximize the proportion of plants in my diet. Splendid Spoon takes all of the work out of tasty, healthy, plant-based meals. And you'll save $35 when you go to splendidspoon.com/Pacman. The link is down below.